Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new time slot. I hope you found us.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start doing this stream at 7:30 Tuesday nights in the evenings. It kind of gives people time to. Hello, Jesse. I'm glad somebody's here.
Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it'll be better. More people get home from work, maybe have
Yeah.
dinner, and want to chill out and maybe do some busy work around the house while we talk about some comic books.
I like it because it gave me more time to read.
Yes, that's also
Yeah.
a good thing. We're not having to rush through because we do try to. Celeste and I both, we pick out new books that are coming out tomorrow, and we try to give a lot of them a proper read so we can really talk about it and not just have it be a flip show where we're just telling you this is coming out and this is coming out and this is coming out, and we want to actually talk about comics because I love comic books. And so yeah, we got it's kind of a weird week. There's a lot of stuff coming out tomorrow that I'm not totally interested in. Marvel's got a bunch of Blood Hunt books, so if you've been following Blood Hunt, there's a bunch of stuff coming out tomorrow.
Mhm.
I've heard from a lot of our customers, and a friend of mine actually just told me today that he said, God help me, I really like Blood Hunt #1. So, that's a little scary because there's so many Blood Hunt books, but,
Yeah.
it's actually been getting a pretty positive response. I don't have a lot to say about it because I only read the first issue, and I don't do a lot of Marvel's crossovers anymore. But you know what? If it's a good book, it's a good book, and so I'm glad to hear that. But in the meantime, let's talk about some stuff that we did read and we were excited about.
Yeah.
You know my philosophy. I always like to start out with some facsimiles, and we have a couple of books today. We have actually one that did not know was a facsimile, but yeah, let's start with Labyrinth,
All right.
because I love the movie Labyrinth,
Yes.
as all good-hearted people do. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, so the movie Labyrinth. It's this is a, if you didn't know, this is a comic book series. There's variant covers here. This is a comic book series that Marvel published in the '80s, and I believe Archaea has the rights to it now, and so they're doing these reprints. And let's see. Yeah, it's just a retelling of the movie, but it's got art by Big John Buscema, who's just a classic artist at Marvel. Sorry, I'm trying to get in the correct spot under the camera. There we go. Yeah, this is that's the fun part of the movie with the Muppets that take their heads off.
Yeah.
I love that song in the movie. Probably my second favorite song. Oh, it's Upside Down. Oh my gosh. I didn't.
You know what? I did not even realize that.
I know. I'm stupid. Let me see if I can configure that. Oh my gosh! This is why we don't. The one day we don't have Dan here to troubleshoot.
Everything gets turned upside down.
Literally.
Yeah. See, I started reading these when they came out, and it inspired me to rewatch the movie.
How about that? There we go. I can look at it upside down.
Would it be under properties?
No.
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
never mind.
I'm not gonna sweat it. But yeah, Labyrinth is great, and I love the movie. This is, I think we talked about this a lot when the issue 2 came out. But
so this is the final issue.
Yes, yeah, because they that's the kind of the neat thing that I always found fascinating about comic books is how much of a story you could convey in a single issue, or at least how much you used to be able to. I actually just got, this doesn't have anything to do with the stream or new books that are coming out tomorrow, but I just got a whole bunch of Conan comic books, old Conan comic books from the '80s, and in them was the movie adaptations, the official movie adaptation that Marvel did. And it's just 2 issues, and it's that's a 2-hour movie, and the whole story is told in 2 issues.
Were
and
they big issues, or
no, just 2 standard comics? But and that's
crazy insane.
That's just storytelling in comics used to be really dense, and you used to be able to get a lot across in
Which
words
makes
and
sense
pictures.
to me because you have to draw everything out, so you're kind of cutting to the chase.
Yes, exactly.
Often. Yeah.
But so yeah, Labyrinth #3, that's coming out. Let's see, we got one more
facsimile.
here. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Now, this is one that, if you're looking at this comic, you might not even realize that it's a facsimile because it just looks like a modern comic.
So it doesn't say on the cover, and I went through the whole issue only for someone in the store to come up to me and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a facsimile."
Yeah.
And it's written in the fine print.
It's in the indicia right there. This is a book that came out in 2012, written by Cullen Bunn. a guy in the St. Louis area. So
I really liked it, so now I have to see if they have a trade.
there is a trade, and not only is there a trade, we have it in stock, so you can go grab it off the shelf and read the rest of it. But yeah,
do that today.
so this is I saw this book on the shelf, and admittedly, I didn't even think about it being a facsimile because I just thought, oh, Marvel's just doing this again because they have a habit. Marvel has a habit of just reusing the titles of all of their books, especially if it was popular. So I saw this and I was like, oh, another Deadpool kills the universe. But no, this is actually the original issue. And yeah, it's a fun Deadpool comic.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm seeing this and I'm like, this is right around the time I stopped reading Deadpool comics. And I still don't think of it as that long ago, but I guess 2012 when this came out, that's like 12 years. So wow, that's
yeah.
I don't like to think about that kind of math.
A facsimile from 12 years.
Yeah, that's the other neat thing about it. Interesting thing about it is like I'm so used to seeing these facsimiles that are from the 60s or the 80s, but like a book that's only 12 years old, it's a little odd that it's getting a facsimile.
Because Deadpool gets kind of darker, and it's very creepy. And then at the very end, he breaks the fourth wall and looks right at the reader, and you're like, ah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go find the trade and read the rest of that.
So another facsimile that's coming out that you might not realize is a facsimile is Gotham by Gaslight. Now this came out, and I want to say that it's the late 80s or early 90s. I should have done my research and found out. But this is actually one of my all-time favorite Batman Elseworlds stories. It's written by Brian Augustine and illustrated by Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy.
Oh, okay.
And so it looks great. It's a really simple pitch. It's basically Batman in the Victorian era, and he's like the villain he's hunting is Jack the Ripper, and it's just really cool retro, like classic Batman. And the reason this is a big deal, there's a couple of reasons that they're putting out a facsimile of this. Number one, it's a good book and it gets reprinted a lot. And it's also oftentimes credited as the book that kind of ushered in DC's Elseworlds line of comics. So DC has like a thing, like Marvel has What If, What If from the TV show. So DC has a thing called Elseworlds, where you just tell stories about their characters, but in just a completely random different setting. And it's kind of the same thing, but
I like that because then you have so much freedom with it.
Exactly, and that's what makes it cool. So this story is like I hate to say What If because that's Marvel's thing, but it's Batman, but in like 1898 setting, And so the reason that it's getting a facsimile, though, apart from just being a good book, is that DC is reviving their Elseworlds books, and they're starting it rather appropriately with a new Gotham by Gaslight comic. So if you go into the comic book store and you're looking at the shelf and you see a bunch of different Gotham by Gaslights, this is the original one by Mike Mignola, and this is a new one. The creators on this is Andy Diggle is writing it, and Leonardo Fernandez is drawing it. And this is called the Kryptonian Age. So as opposed to the original one is just a single issue, whereas this is going to be, I think it's a 6-issue series. So it's a lot longer, and it's not just Batman. It's setting up like an entire DC universe in that setting, in the 1898 setting. So like it opens in 1860 on the Kansa tribal territory. They're on like the Oregon Trail.
Oh wow!
And it's the Kents, and they find. Whoops! There we go. I got to get it in camera. I'm looking at everything upside down, and it's messing me up. They find an alien spaceship that probably has Superman in it, but we'll see. And then
I don't really know any other DC.
Right,
aliens,
yeah,
but...
and like there's Catwoman is in it, and here's her getting in her Victorian era Catwoman garb.
Wait, that's so fun.
Yeah, and she's like a widow who inherited a large estate from her rich husband. And so
how did the rich husband die?
That's kind of there's a little speculation about that. They kind of play that up a little bit, where like she's in high society, but people don't trust her or like her. There's some Batman right there. There's another I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I really like this. This is a fun book. I'm glad to see that would be a fun. Jesse says that would be a fun cosplay. You are correct.
Mhm.
That's the Batman one especially because it's you don't get a good look at Batman in this issue, but you can see it in the original one. He's got like a high Victorian collar, and like the
Ooh.
mask looks like it's like sewn leather, you know, like it's got the stitches in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's awesome.
it's a really good book. So I think this is going to be, if you're a DC reader, this is probably the one you're most excited for. But yeah, highly recommended. It's really good. Let's see, what's something that you read here, Celeste?
Well, I don't know how to read, so that's why I grabbed this one.
Oh, let me
because
fix my
it's
camera. There we go. What did you grab there?
DC
Pride.
Pride covers.
That's right. It's June.
Or it's called Uncovers, but
Uncovers. Ooh,
yeah.
scandalous.
So it just has all of the different covers in there, just a bunch of gay stuff. Beautiful. I love it. So yeah, a bit of reading.
So there's
but,
there's like a short story in there, and then
yeah.
so a lot of this is just like the variant covers for different books for
Yes.
Pride Month.
I love this one with Xanth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, lots of just beautiful covers and artwork in here.
Harley and Poison
And we have a
Ivy,
ton
yeah.
of different variant covers for this issue
That's right.
that
yeah.
you can pick up.
Aha! There we go. Midnighter and Apollo.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is.
wait.
Oh yeah, I gotta flip it. Thank you.
Wait.
This is why I'm glad we got somebody vocal in the chat today. Yeah. So boom! Look at that. Look how beautiful those covers look.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous girls.
But yeah, Apollo and Midnighter, the original gay Batman and Superman characters. They were that's like the old joke is that Batman and Superman are super best friends. They're good buddies, and so a lot of people would kind of infer beyond that for comedic purposes. You know,
And
like
they were
wouldn't it be
roommates.
funny? Exactly.
Yeah.
So Garth Ennis, actually I don't remember if it was Garth. It was Warren Ellis. Sorry, I'm getting my '90s Vertigo guys confused. Created these two characters in I think it was either Stormwatch or the Authority. But yeah, they're analogs for Superman and Batman, Apollo and Midnighter. They have like the same powers, but they actually are like boyfriends and they are in a relationship.
Aww.
Yeah, and so they're good they're really good characters. So and now they're a part of the DC universe because DC bought Wildstorm some years ago.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah, no, I like those comics a lot, and they're really good characters. But yeah, so there's a lot of different variants for this. That's if you like, the cover art, a lot of different stuff to choose from. Look at that foil cover; it can't even show up on camera properly.
It's just that amazing. You gotta see it
Right.
in person.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got for me?
Ooh, lots of stuff.
Shove
We
it on the
have
table.
The Wicked Trinity.
Boom.
This one. So it's in the same world
Look at
as
that, I'm
Sabrina.
prepared this
Oh,
time.
yeah. My bad.
It's
It's in
okay.
the same world as Sabrina, and it's about these three. What?
It's in the
Not
same.
witches.
It's in the same like world as Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes, and so she's a fire witch. She's a siren that got kicked out because she was not a good siren.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a fairy over here. They said Manic Pixie Scream Girl.
Okay. So Manic Pixie Scream Girl, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Manic Pixie Scene Girl is like a trope, like a
But like Dream Girl.
dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dream Girl, Scene Girl, Dream Girl. Whatever.
But
Manic
her
Pixie
name's
Dream
Jade, and she's very edgy, so they said Scream Girl.
Scream Girl. Yeah.
Funny. But I
I'll
like.
bet she's emo.
Yeah, quite a bit. But I like that their characters really reflect who they are. So she's a fire witch with bright red hair, and then you have a siren wearing all blue. Makes it easy for me to follow along.
But you know what? That's what makes comics really great is the
Yes.
visual aspect of it. I do
Yeah.
think that's
But
you can convey a lot of information through the visuals.
just through their outfits and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. But I liked this issue. It was super fun to read because anything with magic I tend to be drawn towards.
Mhm.
But this is in like Common Age, so they're using lingo like low key and high key.
Oh, I got you. So they talk like you.
Yeah.
They sound like a little.
They got a little bit of that
little
brain rot in
Zoomer.
them. Yeah. But they're also dumb teenagers, just getting up to shenanigans.
Just like you.
I'm an adult. Thank you very much.
Okay, a dumb adult, just like you.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, lots of fun. So I'm excited to keep up with this one,
Okay.
which I've never read any of the Sabrina like comics, but I've
Hmm.
seen the show. So that's why I picked this one up. And I liked it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Archie's been doing a lot of good comic stuff lately. It's not like something I'm personally super interested in, but I appreciate them kind of stretching like what they can do with the characters and kind of branching out. They've been doing a lot of horror stuff and
Yeah.
like Sabrina and stuff like that. So that's really cool to see them like grow like their characters beyond
Mhm.
just like the old version of Archie.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I got something. I got a few
Yeah,
things.
what you got
What do
over
I
there?
got? I got. Well, I'm gonna blast through you like I like to do. Two quick things that were in my poll today. Oh, I gotta make sure I have them facing the correct way. Transformers, of course, it comes out tomorrow. Transformers issue number 9. This book just continues to be awesome, and not to be too repetitive, but I was a little uncertain how much I would like the book with Daniel Warren Johnson no longer drawing it. But Jorge Corona has taken over the art duties, and he is just killing it. I really like. He's a really, really good artist as well in his own right, but he is just doing fantastic work on this book. Continues to be really powerful. Like it's, I don't know. It's just everything you want in like a high. It's like high energy, high emotion. Like everything is over the top, and it all works really well in a way that I never would have thought a Transformers comic could, because I never took the concept seriously. Even as a kid, I was just
But
like,
robots are cool.
but
Robot aliens are cool.
that's the selling point, and I agree. That's like all you need. Robots are cool,
Yeah.
but even as a kid, I'm just like they're robots in disguise. But like, this one character here, he, this character here, he's a space shuttle, and so like he just transforms into a space shuttle and flies off. And I'm just like, well, like how good of a disguise is that if you just have a space shuttle flying around? Like, like Soundwave, I get you turn into a boombox. Like that's in
Yeah.
disguise. Like nobody's
Even
gonna.
cars. Cars are everywhere.
Yeah, cars are everywhere.
Yeah.
A space shuttle, I don't know. Like that's
I mean, if
stretching
you have to go away fast, get away.
If you have to break the atmosphere, I guess that's pretty useful. But
Yeah.
and like talking about, I just want to like say, actually talking about the story, I really love the way they're showing this character, like they're characterizing him is what I'm trying to say. Is because he's a Decepticon, but he had a moment in the previous issue where he realized that humans were basically completely defenseless against them, and humans are like weak and squishy, and so he feels bad about killing them because he's like, there's no honor in it. They're just like pathetic little beings, and he feels bad for them. And he kind of has this moment where he's talking to Spike, the human character, he kidnaps him, and he's just like talking to him really frankly. Like all the other Decepticons are really malicious, like Soundwave and Starscream especially. Just like they delight in killing the humans because why not? Whereas like I feel this guy has like a little bit of like a warrior's honor where he's like he just like feels bad that they're conquering this planet. Not that he doesn't think that they deserve to be conquered. He just feels bad because like there's nothing they could do about it, and so he just feels so sorry that these pathetic humans can't defend themselves. But it's interesting because it takes on like it gives him an interesting tone instead of him just being a cackling villain like all the other characters. You're able to kind of give him this moment where it's like, oh, he's almost showing a little bit of humanity to a certain degree, where he like feels something, even if he still doesn't really care about them. Like I don't know, I just really love the writing in this book. It kind of hits, like I said, it's full of action, but it still has all these kind of big emotional moments.
Nice.
Another book that is in my regular pull list is, I'm just throwing these comics on the floor. I don't respect comic books.
Threw them. Wow.
Deadpool Wolverine #2 comes out tomorrow. I believe we talked about issue 1. I am excited for this book because I'm glad to see Joe Kelly writing Deadpool again. He wrote some of my favorite Deadpool comics back in the 90s. But also it is illustrated by one of the Kuberts. There's just too many Kuberts. I can't keep up with them. It's Adam Kubert, and he also drew a lot of Wolverine comics back in the day. He's drawn a lot of X-Men and Wolverine, and this is a cool book. I I read about half of this issue, and so I don't have a lot to say about the story like I did with the Transformers. But this issue is mostly a fight between Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool kind of, which the previous issue was also mostly a fight between Deadpool and Wolverine. But Deadpool gets like brainwashed by this like group that's trying to make superpowered people even more superpowered or something like that.
Of
And
course.
so he's like got this helmet and he just like is kind of a brainwashed simpleton, I guess you could say. I did think there did appear to be kind of a dig at the Wolverine Origins movie, which is the first time Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool, where he's like, so Deadpool's like brainwashed and his powers have been upgraded. You see the air quotes here, upgraded. And he's got this goofy helmet, and he's got these like swords that come out of his hands, which, if you recall, that was Celeste. You love the Wolverine movie, right? The one where he gets his mouth sewn shut and Deadpool doesn't talk.
So I remember it vaguely.
Oh, you did see it though.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, the more I'm starting to remember it because
so
it was
bad.
one of my like childhood DVDs that we had in the house. Yeah.
And he has like all the powers. He has the power to have all the powers in that movie. They give him like Cyclops' powers and Nightcrawler's powers, and so he's like fighting Wolverine and Sabretooth on top of the Hoover Dam or something. But he's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like he's got swords just like all up his arm, but they're really long, and like he wouldn't be able to bend his elbow if he had a sword going. It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to think about it.
It's
but
fine.
yeah, but he famously also had his mouth sewn shut,
Yeah.
so he couldn't talk. And it's like, that's not Deadpool. Deadpool is always cracking jokes, and his whole thing is that he talks too much. And they kind of make a joke about it in this, where he says something like he's done talking or he doesn't want to talk because
we should sew your mouth back together.
Right, yeah. So I did feel like there was like, you can see he's got the swords on his arms. So I did feel like there was a little bit of a dig at the Wolverine Origins movie, which I thought was pretty funny and I appreciated it.
So as someone who's getting into reading Deadpool, should I be reading these?
I'll be perfectly honest. I am all in on this book for the creators involved, but so far only 2 issues have come out, and I wouldn't say it's absolutely essential Deadpool reading thus far.
Yeah, I don't really
liking
read Wolverine, so I'm like.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's a good Wolverine story, but it's definitely Deadpool focused because Joe Kelly, he wrote Deadpool. I credit Joe Kelly with the guy that kind of created the modern version of Deadpool. When he was the one who first wrote the Deadpool solo series and turned Deadpool into more of a comedic character instead of just like a cool guy, a cool assassin.
God bless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's to credit and blame for the Deadpool that we have today.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. Show me a book, Celeste. What do you want to talk about?
Ooh, another new one.
Okay.
Issue number 1. This
All
is
right.
called Lawful, and it's written by Greg Pak, and I'm really liking it so far. So
I like Greg Pak. He's a good writer. Greg Pak.
What else has he done?
He's written a lot of stuff, but he always stands out in my head. He wrote the Planet Hulk story arc in Hulk. This was, back in the day, but he's
back in my day.
He's written a lot of stuff, but yeah, he's a good writer.
But yeah, I'm liking this one. So it's kind of a corrupted city, and you can see how the city walls, it's just cut off and there's water beneath it. And so they have to follow rules, and as soon as they break them, they slowly start turning into monsters. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really interesting.
Is it like a fantasy setting?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a curse. So he broke a rule as a kid, and it started growing on his chest there.
Okay.
But I'm really liking it so far. And his best friend, time skip, and they're older, and she now has like paws and horns and stuff because she's kind of a troublemaker.
Oh, so it's like every time they do something like wrong, they slowly like start to change just like a little bit.
Yeah. And
so that's interesting. Okay.
If they become too much of a monster, then they just get kicked off.
Just exiled?
Yes.
Okay. They don't, but they don't like kill them. They just exile them?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's all these people that have like little monstrifications from all the little bad things that they've done.
Yeah. And so he's studying and applied to be in the inner city where they sort of take care of like who goes and who stays and that sort of thing. And so they leave it to the lawful people to make those decisions.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much what this whole story, I think, is going to be about.
Okay.
And his mom, that's another thing. His mom relies on medicine from the inner city.
Oh, okay.
And so if they become too monstrous, they'll get kicked out from the inner city,
A
like
lobster claw.
to the outside. Yeah. And I don't think they'd be able to get her medicine anymore.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I'll probably I didn't read this one yet, but I'm probably gonna have to give it a read. It looks.
I liked it a lot, and I'm curious to see where it's gonna go because it sounds like it's gonna be sort of like a corrupted storyline where they find out like there's problems in the government, all of this, and maybe a revolution happens. Who
Hey,
knows?
I'm all in on revolutions.
Yeah.
I support that. Who's the artist on this? I like the way this looks. This is Diego Galindo. Yeah, that's a good looking book.
Yeah.
I like the monsters too.
Right? And I like how they're all probably going to be different monsters, like how his friend is turning into a sort of tiger.
Yeah,
looking one.
yeah, I like that too. They'll have like a uniqueness about them.
Yeah.
Neat. All right, let's see, what else do I got here? I got another number one. There's several number ones that are coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Actually, most of the books I have left are number ones. I know this is one that some people are kind of excited about. Godzilla, Skate or Die. I mean, what a great title.
Does Godzilla ride a skateboard in this?
So,
please tell me.
I have to say I'm a little disappointed. Godzilla does not ride a skateboard in this. I love the art in this a lot. And really this issue, it mostly just follows around this like crew, the skateboarding crew in Australia. And there's not a lot of Godzilla in it at all, which I think is going to be off-putting to some people, because the story mostly follows around these teens who started, I think it was a skateboarding zine called Coin Flip.
Oh, cute.
Which, and I think maybe I didn't do a good job of reading it, but I can't quite tell if this is supposed to take place in the present day or if it's supposed to be like a little retro. I mean, I'm seeing cell phones here, so I'm guessing it's like a present day thing. But yeah, I like the art in this a lot. There's like a few like splash pages with some monster action, but it mostly just follows around these kids. I don't have a whole lot else to say about it, other than it's a cool setting. I like the idea of like kids on skateboards surviving a Godzilla attack. Like that sounds really good. You don't get that in this issue, so it's like a little bit of a tease. Like where I'm kind of anxious to see where it goes. Hopefully, you get more of that in issue 2.
But it showed Godzilla.
It did. It did.
Was that not like fighting?
It's like it doesn't happen in their vicinity. Like there's like it's. So the stories are told like they're not connected. So there's like here's some stuff that's happening with Godzilla elsewhere, and and then they're like here's their story, and so at some point it's going to. Cross over.
Yeah.
Ideally, it will.
Okay.
But
see, I really like the art style on that one.
The
so
art
I
is
picked it
great.
up, but I haven't read it yet because I figured you'd be talking about it on the stream.
Yeah.
So.
I like the art a lot. Much like Godzilla War for Humanity, which was my favorite Godzilla book that came out last year. It's got a unique style, and it's not going for that like bland photorealism that a lot of people when you see like comics that are movie characters or adapted for movies, a lot of times comics will embrace that style because they want it to look as much like a movie as possible.
Yeah.
I don't like that when a comic does that. I want a comic book to look like a comic book. And Godzilla Skate or Die definitely looks like a comic book. So it gets huge props for me for that. Like I said, I didn't quite get like really into the first issue. It's got a cool cover, and I'm interested to see where it goes. But it was just kind of like I liked it enough to keep reading it, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot of stuff. I liked it enough to talk about it on the show. There's a lot of stuff that we flipped through, and I'm like, I don't have anything to say about that.
Yeah, there's been a few that I read and then put back on the shelf.
Yeah. Another number one, real quick, I want to talk about Into the Unbeing.
Tell me more.
Oh,
because I want to pick this one up.
I read this whole book. This is another one where I really like the art a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The story, it's kind of it's like a post-apocalyptic setting. This issue, I think it moves pretty slow. It's like all set up, and it's this team of scientists that are working for a corporation. It's not really explained who they are, but they're investigating anomalies out in like I think they call it the wasteland, but there's like
Okay.
an implication that some kind of disaster has happened, and so there's like weird mutations. Like they're talking about this mountain
Yeah.
range just popped up out of nowhere, and so like walking through the desert, you can kind of see like I really like the art is really good.
See, I
There's
love
like some weird
apocalyptic
weird
stories.
plants, like a little spiky lizard guy.
Oh
Um,
wow.
it reminded me a lot of the movie whose name completely jumped out of my head. Uh,
Mad Max?
no, not Mad Max.
Walking Dead.
No, you're not even close. It's not a zombie story. But it reminded me a lot of that good movie that starts with the letter A, and it's also got an all-female scientist team that's investigating an anomaly. And I sound really stupid that I can't think of the name of this movie.
Alien?
No, it's not Alien. It's got oh, what's her name in it? My dementia is really catching up to me today. But
Yeah.
you know what? I like this. It's a slow burn, but it's like they're walking into kind of this like unknown.
Avatar?
No, not Avatar. That's
That's
a
a good
good
one,
guess,
yeah.
but it's like it's not
Annihilation?
Annihilation. Thank you. That is it.
I don't even know what that movie is.
Yes, it's I kept wanting to say Abomination.
Oh, yeah, someone just said
that's-
it too.
got it.
Yeah.
Annihilation. Yes. So yeah, it reminded me a lot of Annihilation, but like less horror than Annihilation, and more like Annihilation is not really a horror movie, but it's got like horror tones where they keep like seeing weird stuff and it's all creepy. There's not as much of that going on in Into the Unbeing, but it looks like it could get there at some point because like this cover is pretty
Epic.
grotesque. So it looks like it's honestly Annihilation is exactly the thing
Oh,
that
wait,
I
there's
thought
little
of.
people down there.
Yes, it is like
Oh,
this
so-
giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Giant skull. Okay.
again, this is like
Wild.
this was a lot of build up. I didn't like totally get into the first issue, but because it was just like a lot of setting up, and I'm curious to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's good, and the art is really good too. The art is
See,
by
that page is what made me pick it up.
this page.
Yeah. Wait.
Oh yeah, we're not. Let me. There we go. This page is what made you want to pick it up.
Yeah. For no particular reason.
It's nice colors. Like I
Yeah,
like the
pretty
look of it,
colors.
and that is something
Very
too.
vibrant.
The colors are really good.
Yeah.
The artist on this is Hayden Sherman, whose work I'm not familiar with, but looks really good. Good looking book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I recommend it. If you are interested in it, just based on those pages that you saw, you should definitely read it. I think you will like it.
Nice.
Okay, we got a few more things to talk about. We got some mostly
Yeah.
bigger books. What do you got here?
Bigger book.
Scavenger's Reign. Ooh, you know what? That's not a bad. I didn't feel like it was too much like Scavenger's Reign because that was more of them on a completely alien planet. The characters. Scavenger's Reign is an animated series that I think it was on HBO. Now it's on Netflix. Highly recommend it, by the way, if you haven't seen it. It's really
Okay.
cool. Animation is beautiful. And it's just about these characters that, I agree. Jesse says you need to watch it. I highly recommend it.
because I love like apocalypse stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
So,
okay.
so this is just going to turn into a stream about Scavenger's Reign now. Scavenger's Reign is about like 6 survivors of a spaceship that crashed. Like it had an accident in orbit, and so gorgeous animation. Yeah. And so there's like 6 survivors on this alien planet, and it's all their stories are kind of told separately because they all landed in different places, and it's just them trying to survive.
Okay.
Or it's like
Are they
3.
trying to like meet up with each other?
Well, they don't even know about each other. Like it's like it does intersect because they're all trying to get to the same point. You know, like
Okay.
they're trying to. The story unfolds really nicely. It's really
I'll
cool.
check it out.
So I can't really say that Into the Unbeing is exactly like Scavenger's Reign, but it gives that vibe a little bit. Like if you like that kind of it's not horror science fiction, but it is just that kind of like creepy science fiction. You know, I don't know. There's a type there, But okay, let's see. What else you got?
Ooh, The Hunger and Dust.
Oh yeah.
So this one, hold on, I accidentally grabbed an issue under it. Okay. Um,
Boom.
This, I read the first like 2 or 3 issues. I want to say just the first 2. It was very heavy on a lot of like the words or terms or names, how it can sometimes be when it's a fantasy world. So I wanted to wait until the trade came out. So I think
now it's out.
Yeah, now it's out, and so now I gotta binge through and read all of this. But I liked it so far. The first like 2 issues. It's about humans and I think orcs.
Orcs, yeah.
Yeah, so
orcs.
humans and orcs are kind of at odds ends. They're enemies, but they came together to fight an even bigger enemy.
Yes.
I forget what they're called. The Vangor.
It's been several months since I read it also, so I don't remember exactly.
Really creepy, kind of like vampires, but not the hot vampires, not the sparkly kind.
Not the Twilight vampire. They don't look like Robert Pattinson.
No, sadly, they look disgusting.
They don't look like who was it? Kristen Stewart was in that movie.
Yes.
They don't look like Kristen Stewart in the Twilight movies. They look like Kristen Stewart now. Oh, that's a mean joke. Okay.
I don't know what she looks like now. So, but yeah, so they look really creepy, like long white hair, super pale skin, fangs, pointed ears, those kind of vampires.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm excited to get into it and start reading this one.
Yeah, I talked about the first issue, at least the first issue. I can't remember how much of it I talked about when it first came out. But yeah, it's really good fantasy. The art is really nice, illustrated by Chris Wildgoose. It's written by G. Willow Wilson, who is one of the creators of Miss Marvel, the like from the Marvels show. She's what's her comic out right now? Miss Marvel Mutant Menace, something like that. I don't know if are you a Miss Marvel fan? Did you read any of those?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, she's notable for that, and she's written some other stuff. But I have to say, I really none of the Miss Marvel stuff ever jumped out at me. But I don't read a lot of modern Marvel stuff. But I really liked Hunger in the Dusk. Like the writing is really good.
See, Abby too was telling me that she liked it. So yeah, give it a shot.
It's solid. There's kind of like I don't want to say like Romeo and Juliet because I don't want to imply like too much of a romance angle,
like
but there's
star-crossed lovers.
There's a little bit of that to it, where
between the human and the orc.
Yes, exactly. So you have like these two rivaling tribes that have to learn to come together to face a greater threat. It's all like very high fantasy, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Nice.
Let's see. I got a few more things to talk
what
about.
Books do you got?
So I'm going to talk about. Oh, let me just get off that. There we go. I'm going to talk about one book that came out 2 years ago. And I'm just going to talk about it briefly. One of my favorite books as a cartoonist by Noah Van Sciver. And I'm only talking about it today because my stack was kind of light. And I follow Noah Van Sciver on Facebook, and he made a comment that this book is almost out of print. So if you're interested in it, you should go get a copy. We have a copy here at the store, so if you like fun cartoonist comics, I definitely recommend this. He does a lot of autobiographical stories about like his life as a cartoonist and also his childhood growing up in a religious family with lots of siblings. So it's very, it's like it's comedic and sentimental and also
like
kind
a
of sad.
Slice of life
Yeah, there's a lot of
almost?
slice of life stuff to it. This book, I'm especially pointing it out because it has one of my favorite characters that I assume is really from his childhood. This character called Mellowmutt, which is essentially his invisible friend that he had as a kid, which was he was a kid in the 90s and Jurassic Park was huge, and he had a Jurassic Park toy, and that toy was a little baby Triceratops that kind of became his best friend. And there's just kind of a lot of I guess I would call them like comedically poignant comics about Mellowmutt, just where like the punchline isn't really funny, it's kind of really sad. But then that's what makes it funny because it's
real.
It's real, yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, I like this a lot. Like he's got some good. I really enjoyed Mellowmutt. Maybe it was like a little too real for me, where I just like really identified with the stories he was telling. Where it's like, okay, I recognize that in my own childhood. So highly recommend Noah Van Sciver. Awesome creator.
You have a
Um,
childhood or imaginary friend?
no, I do not. I never had an imaginary friend that I can remember.
Okay.
It's possible. I've done a pretty good job of blocking out most of my life like before the age like 23.
Yeah.
I just like it's gone. I deleted those files.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of where I'm getting. Like most of middle school, got like 3 memories.
okay, let's see. What else you got for me?
Ooh, Peach Momoko's Ultimate
Oh,
X-Men.
Ultimate X-Men,
Yes,
yeah.
number 4.
Number
Just
4 comes out tomorrow. That's a good one to
Yes.
pick because I stopped reading Ultimate X-Men. Did you read this issue?
yes. I did.
Okay, then you
'Cause
can
I
tell
had
me about
time
it.
to read it because the stream is later now.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm really liking the writing so far
Mm-hmm.
because they do a good job of making it real and dark and heavy, but
Mm-hmm.
in a lighter way. Like it deals with a lot of heavy topics.
Okay.
And at first I thought that they were like super young, maybe middle school age, but in this
The
issue,
kids. Like
yeah,
the
in this
characters?
issue they mentioned, oh, you got your license for the bike, and so I'm like,
Oh, she's like
oh,
got
so
a,
she must
a
be a bit
motorcycle.
older. And
yeah.
then they mention, oh, you remember your friend from middle school, so
Okay.
my guess is high school age.
They're supposed to be high school kids.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean that makes sense because that's when mutants develop their powers when they're going through puberty.
Yeah. So
If you were a real X-Men fan, you'd know that. But that's okay. You're allowed to learn things as you go along.
yeah, but they mentioned her friend with the white hair. The way she got her powers in the last issue was her dad is not the greatest. So when he hit her, that's when it developed for her, and she has
turned
like
her
lightning
white?
powers. Yeah.
Okay.
So lots of heavy stuff, but it's still done in a very nice, I don't know,
Well, that's nice.
light
There
way.
we go. Yeah.
Like they're
I mean, it's
just kids.
it's
dealing
very
with all
much
of it.
a
yeah.
it's a Peach Momoko book. Yeah, there you go. See, like this, so this confuses me because when I first saw it, I thought that was Storm, but it's not Storm. It's like a new character who has white hair and lightning powers
Yeah.
because she's Korean and she's not African. She's not from Kenya or
No.
Egypt. Okay,
But
you
yeah,
know,
I'm
sure.
liking this issue a lot.
Okay, well that's good.
But yeah, so for those of you that want to read X-Men, I highly suggest this one.
So is it like because one of the things I noted when I read the first couple of issues is that it feels really disconnected from the regular Ultimate Universe.
Yes.
Does it kind of maintain that like it's its own?
So this is
It's
in
its
the
own
Ultimate
story.
series. So they do a little synopsis here for you,
Mhm.
and basically all of the mutants never happened in this universe, and it was done
Yeah,
by the Maker.
The Maker,
He
yeah, he's
locked them away.
yes.
Let's say
Okay.
it's like the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
Um,
So they're all. I guess that sort of makes sense why they would all be new characters. I'm just like
Yeah.
I'm trying to rationalize this.
So it makes it very easy to jump into and start reading.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
There's no other superheroes in this universe.
Right. Right.
Not
okay.
really. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I definitely think Peach Momoko is a good artist. She's really unique, and so I think if you like her
yeah,
work.
we have. I grabbed
got
the,
some
I
variant
grabbed
covers
the variant
here?
covers. I forgot about that.
Okay.
There we go. Beautifully done. Ooh,
yeah.
I really like this cover. Who did that one? I don't think they have the name on the cover.
They don't have the name.
Yeah. And then
on the
this is
cover.
another Peach Momoko cover.
Yeah, that's
This one
definitely
here.
Peach Momoko.
But yeah, this was a main character that we get introduced to in this issue 4, and he was the main character's childhood best friend from like middle school,
Mhm.
and they have a confrontation. So
Ooh,
yeah,
sounds pretty spooky.
yeah.
All right, let's see. I've got.
I have 2 more.
You got 2. I have 2 more.
Oh, would you look
my
at
goodness.
that? We
All right.
balanced it right.
Let's. I'm gonna talk about one book, the book that I'm most excited about. Not talking about it last. I'm talking about it right now. Very excited for a new Peter Bagge version of Hate. This is called Hate Revisited. Peter Bagge is a cartoonist who's been drawing comics since the 90s. He does like nonpartisan political comics and also a lot of satire and comedy and also genre comics and historical comics. He does a lot of different stuff.
See, you can tell just by the cover, it's like a comedy, but
Yes,
also
yeah. So he has a very stylized, like weird style that I like
Yeah.
a lot. He did
It's
an
fun.
anthology series in the '90s called Hate, and it's like he's kind of considered one of the premier Gen X cartoonists. At least I would consider him one. And so he was doing a lot of like just funny satirical stories about kids in the 90s. And so one of his character was Buddy, who's that's sort of supposed to be him on the cover, who's like the typical 90s kid slacker, like you would see in the movie Clerks, but he's also kind of an idiot. But now it's the year 2024, so he's an adult, and he's
also
existing.
probably still an idiot.
He's still kind of an idiot, yeah.
As a 24-year-old, I can speak on that.
Yes, exactly. But well, no, he's not. Yeah, he's aged up, so he's like a 40-year-old, 40-year-old guy now living. He's got a family and kids, and really, really funny. There's a lot of good. Kind of send up Seattle life, which is where Peter Bagge lives. And as you can see, this takes place in Seattle. And there's obviously a politically charged thing going on in the cover. You got MAGA and Black Lives Matter, which is not. So this cover, it's interesting because it looks like a very provocative cover. This is actually a metaphor of an argument that these two characters have. They don't actually fight. But it's really good. It's a really good use of the visuals to like. This is what these characters are like. Wish they could do to each other, like how they see each other versus how they actually are. But yeah, really, really good comic. I'm just so excited that we get more Peter Bagge because
there is some color.
Oh yeah. Okay. So there's one of the stories is in color. Most of it is in black and white. But there's like a few different stories. There's like a flashback to the 90s stories, and then there's like a lot of contemporary stuff just about just like it's essentially like it would be like slice of life comics, except it's all fiction, like it's all like fictional characters, but I don't know, his writing and cartooning style, like it feels really, really natural until it gets really off the wall, or off the rails. Like characters like will talk like in comedic terms, but then they'll have these like really real moments where it's like, oh, I've heard somebody say that, but then they just like will start swearing at each other and using colorful language and like funny turns of phrase for comedic effect.
Yeah.
But it's really like manic kind of in a way, and I think that's the big appeal. Yeah, I definitely recommend this. It's always good to see new Peter Bagge. So this is probably the book I'm definitely like. I would say that's my pick of the week. Yeah, for sure. Is Hate by Peter Bagge. I love it. All right, what else do you have here?
We'll do Monsters Are My Business.
Yeah, and business is booming.
Yes. Wait, is that the full title?
I
feel
think
like you say that every time.
Well, I think that is the title. Monsters Are My Business, and Business is Good, or something like that. That's like an old,
it's just a phrase.
It's a phrase,
it's a
yeah.
thing people say.
Who's Megadeth? Killing is my business, and business is good. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. I didn't properly prepare for this stream, but I do like what I like about this comic is that it has a little koala in it. And
his name is Cuddles, and he uses a flamethrower in this issue.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, cute and deadly.
Cute and deadly. You see now, you get all excited about this koala, and then you also tell me that like your favorite cartoon character is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. I'm seeing a connection here.
This is Stitch in a different
essentially
universe.
It's Stitch.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, this book also written by Cullen Bunn, who was the writer of the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe that we talked about earlier today. Yeah. So
I'm gonna start looking at the authors more often.
I guess we can say you're a Cullen Bunn fan now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I really like this issue. The writing and art style both are amazing. So basically, monsters in this universe, they follow a hive brain, except this one, and they don't really know why, so they want to figure it out, and they get a psychic, almost? I don't really know what she does. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. In all his glory, he's the goat. They actually call him the goat.
They call him the goat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good job, Cuddles. But, yeah, so they hire like a psychic magic witch person. I don't really know what she would be called in this. To basically summon the higher power, and because they need to get to the bottom of how monsters came to this world and hopefully get rid of them.
Oh, okay.
Like I say, I like apocalyptic stuff, and this is it.
I like this goofball here.
Yeah, it's like a horse snail with a lot of eyeballs.
Eyeballs.
I don't really know what's going on there, but I like it. He's funny. or she. I don't really know. But yeah, I liked this issue a lot. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I want to know if they end up getting rid of all the monsters or maybe liberating them from the big monster so they all can be their own people.
Well, I gotta tell you, Celeste, you're not doing a good job of describing this comic.
I'm not.
I'm just kidding. I think this is one of those books where the concept sells itself. It's
Yeah.
monster hunters having a fun, like, horror comedy adventure.
See, I don't know where the line is because I hate spoilers. Like, absolutely despise spoilers.
Yes,
So I'm
yeah,
like, how much
yeah.
can I tell before people are like,
Right.
no.
It's like, no, don't just give away the story. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I gotcha. Okay, but so would you say that this? What would be your pick of the week of the new books?
One of these two?
One of these two.
One of these two.
You can't.
So I'll talk about this
You
one
can't.
in a bit.
You just get to have 2 picks of the week, I guess. All right, fine, sure. We're just changing the rules, but that's fine. All right, Ain't No Grave. Let's talk about that real quick,
All right, fine.
since it's
Pick
your
of the
other
week.
pick of the week.
Yeah. So this one is written by Scotty Young. I love his work, love his writing and art style. So
You know who the artist is on this?
it's George.
Corona.
I can't read upside down. My bad.
It's George Corona,
George
who is
Corona.
also the current new artist on Transformers that I was just ranting and raving
See,
about.
I looked him up to see if he did anything that I knew, and lots of like Batgirl is what I saw. Lots of other like DC stuff, which explains why I didn't really recognize a lot of it because I don't read a ton of DC.
Yeah.
But
He's a really good artist. You can kind of tell. It's what I find interesting is like looking at Transformers. You can tell he's trying to work in a Daniel Warren Johnson vibe, and then you look at this book and he's trying to work more of a Scotty Young vibe into like his characters,
Yeah.
like the proportions and
beautifully done.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Even the colors on this work so well with the storyline. So basically, she's sick and she
Mhm.
has a family, and she travels to the world of the undead. Is
Okay.
what this little town is, and she's on a mission to find death to cure her. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something else maybe.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe she has some unfinished business.
I
She's
got
been to
business
this
to
town
take care of.
before. In
Yeah.
her past, she was like a reckless sort of woman.
She was a highway woman.
I was gonna say wham
A
and
whammon.
yeah.
Yeah, this looks
But
really
yeah.
good. I liked the first issue. Came out a month ago. I thought it looked really good. I like George's art a lot, but I did feel like the story was all set up for just like a first issue, and it
Kind of
was
slow.
it was really slow. I guess that's
Yeah.
the way to put it, which is kind of appropriate for a western. Like westerns kind of move slow until like the big moment.
Yeah, which it definitely picks up in this one.
Yeah, it feels like
lot
all
more
the story is
action,
getting started in
People
this
are
issue.
dying. There's my favorite.
Oh, what's your favorite?
My favorite spread is this one. I was talking to Brandon about it. Because they're all fighting, then blam, 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 blam.
blam. Look at all those bullet holes.
Yeah, you can see 6 shots in his body. Oh. 6 shots in his body. But yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's a good book. If Scotty Young is trustworthy as a creator, like he's going to put out good stuff.
Yeah.
He's just he makes good books. He makes good
I still
stuff.
haven't read I Hate Fairyland yet, though. It's been on my list.
Yeah, you should probably
Yeah.
get to that.
I read his other book, Middle West.
Yeah,
Highly
that's-
suggest that.
That's one. I think my favorite book of his is probably Twig that came out last
Wait,
year.
that's by Scotty?
Yeah, it's written by Scotty Young. Art by
Wow.
Kyle Scram. But yeah, really
Wow.
good.
No wonder I liked that
No
one.
wonder you like it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna end. I got one more book to talk about coming out tomorrow. It's even though what did I say? Hate Revisited is probably my pick of the week. Might be the book I'm most excited for. Is Night of the Living Cat, Volume 4.
We all know you lied about your pick of the week.
You know what?
It's this one.
I like cats, and I like manga, and I like comedy, horror, and this book is all of the above. This is this. I mean, it's really simple to explain this book. It's a zombie outbreak, except instead of zombies, it's cats. And if a cat touches you, you turn into a cat. Not like a cat person, literally a cat.
Wait, touches you? Do they have to like scratch or bite you?
No, it's just like if they touch you. So like that's
They're
and
just
then
like rub up against
Exactly,
you.
yeah.
How
So that's
cats
why
do, yeah.
that's why everybody gets turned into a cat like instantly.
Wow.
And
That's not the worst thing in the world.
there's like what another fun thing about this comic or this manga is that it operates a little bit like a history of cats. So like it'll have like little explanations of different types of breeds and like where they originated from and how they
Okay.
came to be. So like a story will open with like a specific type of cat, and then it'll explain like what the cat is and like what their temperament is like, and et cetera, et cetera. But
Is it already a manga, or is this the same one?
this is the same one. This is three volumes in this series have come out, which I have at home. This is volume 4. This is the newest book. So you've definitely heard me talk about this comic before. There's like a group of survivors in the book that are, you know, it's like a zombie story where they're kind of making their way around trying to scavenge for supplies, and they have like one character is horribly allergic to cats, and so they use them as like a cat detector. So like they'll like send them on a scouting mission with somebody else, and like the minute the one character starts sneezing, they're like, "Oh my God, there's cats nearby! Get out of there!" It's really good, and it's like the horror comes from the fact that cats are just too irresistible. Like you want to pet the cat even though you know it's gonna effectively kill you.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. It's really good. There's also oh, look at that, T-Rex suits.
Oh yeah, wait, that's kind of genius.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and they have like instead of using guns, they have like spray bottles. You know, because cats hate spray bottles.
Yeah, I mean, we can't shoot the cat.
Right, exactly. You can't because they're too cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like this book a lot. And they've been kind of setting up like there's something else going on. Like they've been teasing like the origin of like why this is happening. Even from the first book, there was an implication that one of the human characters used to be a cat in some way. And or at least that's I don't think they don't go into it too specifically, but I feel like that's what they were trying to set up. Because there's this character who's like an amnesiac and he doesn't know he knows everything about cats, but he doesn't know like where he came from or who he is, and he's just kind of weird. And I'm like,
okay. I want it to be something stupid, like a cat was up on a counter and knocked something into like a potion, and it poof.
You know what?
Apocalypse.
The way this book goes, it could be that. Yeah.
That'd be really funny.
But yeah, this volume looks like it's kind of getting more into the lore. The first, because it's a manga book, so it reads really quickly, you know. But the first couple of volumes were like just typical zombie type stories where the characters are trying to survive in this world full of cats, and like there's all these great scenes of like characters like they got the windows boarded up and you just see like cat paws like coming through like a zombie movie, and like cats like trying to stick their faces through, and the characters.
That would be my downfall. I'd be like, oh, can I hold your hand?
Exactly, and then that's the story, and all these people are like recoiling in horror at these like cute little kitties trying to break into the room. It's really, really funny. But yeah, so yeah, highly recommend this one if you get a chance. Night of the Living Cat. It's fantastic. One of my favorites. All right, I think we did it. We got through everything.
Done.
So thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you were able to catch us at our new time. We're going to try and stick to this, I think. So if this works easier for you, please let us know. We just want to bring comics information to the people. You know, like Dan, our good friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody, and if you can't buy them from us, you should buy them from somewhere, but you should definitely stop into Fantasy Books and Games, and at the very least, you come into Fantasy Books and Games, you can talk to me and Celeste about comics, because we love talking about comics.
We have a couple sister stores, too.
We do, yeah, Heroic Adventures in Edwardsville and Fantasy Books in Belleville.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check it out. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.